All right. So one of my viewers asked me about max overpower hook shots, and I've been trying to get a hold of my buddy to off of me now for a couple weeks, but he won't call me back. And I know we're buddies, but he won't call me back. I'm giving him shit. So there's a website out there that'll tell you, like, depending on what club you're using and what level it's at, like how many rings out you need to go, and you need to start off with that. Whatever they tell you to do for max overpower hooks, you need to follow that. That's the way you need to do max overpower hooks. I start off, but if it's a hole that I've shot a lot and I've done the max overpower hook shot there, I know where the spot's at. I don't worry about how many rings off I want to be. But I have an example. So let me clear up some stuff and get my max club cards going. See if I have to put some in the bank or if I pick a epic. I am not working on either one of those epics. In the bank. All right, here we go. So this hole right here, and I had to pick my other pen because my normal pen doesn't work. That's too big a line. Much more better. Okay, so we're trying to go down the fairway in this direction. And the pin placement now on the new hole, it's on the left-hand side as you go down the fairway. So the closer you can stay on the left, the better. I'm used to taking the shot and setting it up so that I play it coming in on the right, but that doesn't work anymore with this. But on the max overpower hook shot itself, this fairway, if you put your ball guide along this fairway, I end up setting the shot up at about maybe a ring away from this, and I'm trying to pull it in a little so that I'm trying to pinch up here at the top. So I'm leaving myself, the higher I can stay, the closer I can get on the other end. So let's see if it works out. We'll check the shot out, but this is all about picking. Once you come on a hole and you use the ring set, be very cognizant of where your ball guide's at, or at rest. Your orange ring is off the transition between the fairway and the rough, and then that gives you, depending on the wind, which direction the wind's going, you may have to move out or in just a little bit depending on that, and then take the wind out. There's no shot in the game that we don't take the wind out. Take the wind out. At least adjust for the wind. If it's a headwind, you're adjusting out that side wind, but adjust for the wind. You may put the power back in it, but adjust for it. Let's see how the shot goes on. Okay, you can see right here where my red line's at. And what we don't see when we're playing, I think a lot of people, when they're envisioning this is your arc. So really see where the red's at, and so this is a circle, a big ass circle that I could spin this club around the red line, and trying to imagine like where you would be if you were on this spot of the red line. So this is where I'm really trying to hit to, so that I get my first bounce on this trajectory and I'm riding across the top. And I'm trying to get, with a max overpower hook shot, especially with that wind, it's going to push me forward, but it's really going to whip when it comes around the bend. It's really going to be ripping. You can't really see that red line like that. Let's get rid of it. All right, where did it go? Did I get rid of it? I did get rid of it. Hold on, let me find it. Damn it to hell. All right, I found it. Now we're going to get to watch my opponents just going straight forward with a katana. And they're not doing max overpower. The wind's going straight with them. and see what kind of distance they get versus what kind of distance I get doing the max overpower hook. Now granted, I'm using a 4 power ball instead of a 3 power ball, and they got 415. Max top spin and however much side spin I can get on. Probably about 3/4 of a ring off of that transition. And I'm trying to get as close as I can up here at the top, and I got as close as I could. That's about as far as you can hit. 480. 480. All right, that was the shot. I think there's another hole here that we did a max overpower hook shot on. Let me look at it real quick. Seemed like there was another hole. There was a couple holes we were doing max overpower, max curl shots. This is another hole right here that's got an absolute setup. So if you point your ball guide right at that red tree, there's several different shots that you can take from here depending on what ball you want to bring out. So I actually missed the shot that I was trying. Took the wind out. Let's see if I caught all of it. So coming around the bend, I just barely, I brought out, and this is a prime example right here. Let's go back and rewind that. This is a prime example. And once again, you can see the red line here that we don't pay attention to is curved. So we're on a big ass circle here to move our club, or we're the same distance out here as we are from here. And what my opponent was trying to do is there's a lane that comes through right here, and if you can clip this rough, you'll just dribble out into this lane and you've got a clear shot to the green. And if you bring a sniper, if you're way up there in the front, you can be in long iron. You want to bring a long iron that's got enough topspin to run out, that's got as much topspin as a sniper. So it needs like 60. And there's a nice rough bump that you can do to the cup, or you can go straight at it, but you've got a lane. I was actually trying to get past the sand and all the way down to the other end of this chute in front of these trees. It's really a pretty difficult shot, and I've been playing it with a quasar, and what happened was the katana that I used had pushed me forward in the shot. So the quasar, my red line, instead of being where it's at right here, let's erase all that. Instead of my red line being up here with a quasar, it's back a little bit from that. And so on my arc, I was farther forward in my shot. So the rough, if you draw the arc up here where my red line's at now, my arc here, I have to go farther to the right in order to clear this rough. And I set it up on that tree just like I would if I was trying to use a quasar ball, which with max curl clears the rough because I don't have to hit it as far to get it past it. And so if you use a 2 power ball, you need to come in from that tree, you need to come to the right like a ring and start from there. You may have to be 3/4 of a ring or a ring and a quarter, so that you're getting your bounce in this area and then running along the side of the sand trap. You're kind of getting one bounce here and almost bouncing over the sand trap with your second bounce. But because I didn't make that adjustment and come into the right, when I went forward in my shot, hopefully this makes sense. When I went forward in my shot and moved on to this trajectory right here, I didn't compensate for how much deeper the rough was. That's why I clipped it. So the failure there was I ended up in the lane that my opponent was trying to get in. This lane that I talked about, I was in that lane. And so I had a great shot to the cup, but it wasn't actually the shot that I was trying to get. That's the thing about some holes with max overpower hooks, is you can still end up in a pretty good spot even if you miss it. But there are some max overpower hook shots in the game that are definitely, if you fail on those holes, you fail on those holes. And I think there's some max overpower hook shots that we can do on the Oasis, but if they do the new pin placement, it's changed some of that. And some of the new holes, they'll put trees in the wrong spot so that we can't do a max overpower hook. There's no max overpower hook on it. All right, I'll shoot some more and I'll add all these together. I'll edit them all. I won't edit them. I'll just tag them all together. So just looking at some holes, I don't play by how many rings we're going out. Okay, if we're playing on a hole like this, if I want my ball to land in, and let's erase all that crap. Let's fix that. Much more better. Much more. Let's pick a color. Palette. Palette would probably be good. Orange. I didn't actually pick orange. Done. Done. Look at that. I'm making you guys go through the whole process. Done. Okay. Trash. All right. Here we go. I made you go through that. I did. I made you suffer to go through it. You can play this with, there is a shot. Let's see if I can get the hole here. Let's see if I can get the whole shot. I'm not exactly sure what my opponent did, but they did a max overpower hook shot. So there's where they want to hit. There's 5, and then they went over. So they were trying to count rings. And they're using a marlin ball. So that means they're going to be even further back in their shot. I think in their case, though, they hit it a little bit too far forward. They hit it past the gap. They came in at such an angle that they hit it past it. Let's see what I can get done. Let's see where I went. I went the wrong way. That's what it looks like. I should have went right at the tree. And what I should have did was came in to the right just a little bit. And I went right at the tree. 3-3. And let's see trajectory rise if I'd have used the 1 power ball, like where it lands right there. So where I tagged the fairway right here, in this spot, this distance to the, if I would have used a 1 power ball, which is what I've been using all week, from that same exact spot, my red line, I would have been inside of my red line here. So I had the fairway. And if you're on this side of this fairway, there's a sand trap right here in front. And so if you're coming in on this trajectory, you can go right along the lower end of the sand trap and go straight down the fairway. So I wasn't getting enough distance on the very end. I was just a little short. And so I upped the ball so that I could get a little bit more flight. But I didn't adjust. I adjusted for the hook, but I didn't adjust so that I could actually clear this corner right here. So when you're doing max overpower hook shots, like read whatever that, I'll put the link for that website in there as soon as I can get a hold of Dale or he contacts me, I'll put it in there. And follow whatever they tell you to do. But like when you're thinking about max overpower hook shots, this is why it's so important to record your own video. Because you can go back and you can analyze your shots like this and you can see where you were off and like what kind of an adjustment do I need to make. So like on this adjustment from the tree that I was aiming at, coming at that tree, I landed in the rough right here. The rough came around and I needed to be a little bit more to the right, and I had plenty of fairway to the right, so I need to move that like maybe half a ring to the right or a ring to the right so that I can clear right here and run forward. Then we'll have to see what the next obstacle is, which is the sand trap. I'm sure of it. You can see where that sand trap's out up there. So I have a lot of room. And that's a perfect spot. So if you want to hit to the spot, you can use a katana. And I like a katana better because on the other side, if you're at not quite the right angle, you may have to use more side spin. And so you may have to, otherwise you have to use curl. And you don't want to have to use curl. If you're using curl, you're using curl because you just want to get on the hole. I want to say, I didn't even watch my opponent when I was playing this. So I have no idea what they did. Hitting it perfect. And they're just trying to recover. Excellent. Nice shot. That was a nice shot. It's too bad I wasn't paying attention when they actually took it. You're getting some bonus action here, even though I'm talking. I don't even remember what I did on this hole. We were just talking and playing, and I don't think I hit it perfect into the cup. Let's see if I made a good wind adjustment. I moved it 2-4. And I moved it 2-4 exactly. I don't think I made it on this hole, so I did hit it perfect. Just a bit outside. All right, so you got some bonus action there. You got to see me miss the next shot. But that shot right there, you could go back and analyze that shot if you hit it perfect, and you can. It's so important to record your own video, especially if we've got holes like this where we're doing a max overpower hook shot. You can go out there and you can watch where you land. So if here's the fairway and you've went out however far out you went, find a marker out there. And if you're way out in the middle of freaking nowhere, find a tree, find a rock, find something out there. A lot of these max overpower hook shots, you can use the cuts of the rough, because we'll have the first cut of the rough. Here's the fairway, and we have a transition between the fairway and the first cut of the rough. First cut. Then we have, let me see if I can find a photo here. Let's look at a hole. Let's look at a hole. Let's go into Golf Clash. Granite Point. Let's see if there's one that we do a hook on that I have a picture of. There's a max curl shot on this now, but you could do a max overpower hook shot on this hole now with this configuration. If they play the old configuration, this side's dead. You never use this side, but with the new configuration, you want to get out into this area. If you can get out into here, the very tip, and you can get over there with a rock and a kingmaker, but you could do a max over power hook shot from here. Because you're up in this area. I think this is the area you're in with your, and you're trying to get it over. And you could probably do it with a lower power ball to get you up into this area. You might be able to bring a bigger power ball if you could reach this side right here and try and reach this fairway. So the first thing you do if you came out here is establish which one of these two fairways you can get into. I'm pretty sure you're hitting into, is that a break in the fairway? It seems like you're hitting, I didn't mean to take a picture. It seems like you're hitting up into this area. You're bringing it around with a rock. You can use a bigger hitting club like an APOC if you've got an APOC with curl. If you had a really big APOC, you might be able to just max overpower curl it and get it around the bend over to this side. But you could do a max overpower hook shot here on this hole to try and get, and your ultimate goal would be to get over to here. Because you can get to this spot right here with just doing a normal shot with a QB, a rock, and get up towards the tip. But the goal would be to try and get over here because it may put you in a different club. So like here you're taking the shot through this area with a sniper, but you might be able to work yourself up into long iron. So the first time you take this shot trying to get around here, if this was your landing zone, if you ended up in this rough here in your in trajectory, then you need to come into the left. You need to bring it into the left, right? So however many rings you went out, I try and find a transitional spot. So like I would use the transition between this fairway and the first cut of the rough. So this being, let's zoom in a little bit on this picture. You can see first cut of the rough, first, second, third, fourth cut. I'm not sure if it is anymore, but fourth cut used to be out of bounds. And we just played a recent tournament on some new holes, the Old Bridge holes for the Spring Major, that there was one of the holes there that we were going for a shot through the trees, and if you got caught up in the trees, it was out of bounds. So I try and find markers like this. So we're out in this area, so we've got these markers, and try and find a spot where either my white ring is on this or my blue ring is on this, and I've got my clear rings in the fairway, and so that the next time I get on this hole, I'm not counting rings to get over. I'm going to that spot. And when I'm in a tournament, if we've got varying winds, this is why it is important to practice these holes that you do max overpower hook shots on, because a wind going this way is going to affect this shot different than a wind going this way. So this wind right here is not only pushing it off, but it's laying it down. And so your adjustment to the left needs to be, you need to make a bigger adjustment. This one right here might not kill you as much. All right, I'll shoot more of these videos, and we'll look at more holes. The deal is I don't know. I'm a spot person for and I've done max overpower hook shots for a long time, and I can't, I don't know. There you go. Thanks for watching.